Okay, well, I'm in Elizabeth and Elm, just south of Glenwood and north of the river. We've been talking about the old baseball field that used to be down here that the county sold to the city of Wayne, and then the city of Wayne let it grow over. And it was used by Wayne High as a sports field, the old Wayne High, as opposed to the new Wayne High. And in the 40s, 50s, and the 60s and 70s, after it started to grow over, kids would come down here and party and ice skate. So as you can see, we're in sort of a floody kind of stage right now, and I'm wondering whether I should try to venture down there. I get a pretty good view from right up here. Looks like folks over there are working on their backyard. How's it going?
Hey.
Hey, when it floods, does it flood all the way up into this area?
I don't think I've seen it that far.
No? Well, that's good.
What was the question? We missed it.
Oh, I was curious if when it floods worse than this, does it flood all the way up to the embankment up there?
I've never seen it make it to the wall.
Right. It probably creeped right up here.
Every year.
Yeah.
So I would say probably just to there.
I've been talking to some of the old timers who said it used to be the football baseball field for the old Wayne High on the other side of Michigan Avenue, and then during the county sold it to the city of Wayne, and the Wayne let it grow over, and the kids would ice skate when it froze over, which makes sense. It looks like you probably ice skate over there if it froze.
Yeah, my kids would skate here, but it hasn't frozen nice like that this year.
Right.
Yeah, that baseball diamond was right here.
Yeah, I was exploring through there last year, and I saw these concrete like slabs with rusty pole things, and I'm like, what the heck's going on here? Yeah, I talked to some of the old Wayne.
Someone told me that's where the bleacher was.
Yeah, I imagine those would be bleachers.
Elm Street.
Yeah.
And then the bleacher was there.
And they apparently a lot of people called this the flats.
That's that area still in water.
Yeah,
right
cool.
Over there is where that was.
Interesting. Because there's a fire plug down there too, and I'm like, what the heck is a fire plug doing in the middle of the woods?
Did you? So I'm thinking that fire hydrant would have been the intersection of Sophia and Elm Street.
I think so. Sophia would have come through.
It never came through.
Okay.
I think.
It's marked. It's the date on it is 1945, so it goes back to the 40s.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Sophia Street ever went any further than it
Yeah,
was.
maybe they had planned it, but then urban renewal screwed everything up and changed everything around.
Now, someone told me. Do you remember Professor Proctor by any chance?
The name is familiar. Did he teach at at one of the schools?
At a university in North Carolina State, actually.
Okay.
Anyhow, he grew up in this house.
Oh, in this house?
On the other side of me.
Oh, wow.
And he told me that it was one of the Hollies brought in filled dirt and filled in this whole area at one point, and that's where when they built these houses.
Huh.
So this would have been where the
So
fill ended.
they built it up so that it would not flood any further. Yeah, that makes sense.
But
They used to call
here's my favorite old timer story. According to him, Charlie Proctor, that when he was a kid, he had dove off of that wall into water. Now that must have been one hell of a flood then, huh?
We've had some pretty good floods in the last few years here. Yeah.
So you remember when at Wayne High, like even the dugouts and stuff were underwater?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was. It still wasn't. It still wasn't flooded up to here.
Well, I was going to bring up Wayne High because some of the old timers used to call this area the flats, and that was pre-Wayne High. So
Yeah, we call it the flats.
yeah. So there's actually two flats. I never knew that. I graduated from Wayne. I realized there are actually two sets of flats. This would be flats west, and that would be flats
I always
east.
thought it was just generic for a flat land next to water.
Maybe it is a generic term. We always thought it was the flats, like it was some special name.
Yeah.
I never hung out there because I wasn't one of the partying kids. I was told that if I hung out there, I would get in trouble. So.
That's right. Yeah, me too.
Wow.
I wasn't a flats person.
Yeah.
But when I was at Wayne Hall, we practiced football down in the flats.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and sledding and everything too.
Yeah, right.
Mostly it was just the kids who wanted to go down there and drink and get high. Well, thanks for talking to me. I appreciate your recollections and the information about what was his name again over there?
Charlie Proctor.
Holly.
Charlie.
Oh, Charlie Proctor.
Yeah. Or the Hollies.
Oh, Holly. Holly's owned that one. He's a professor, and then Proctor used to dive off into the water.
So, as I understand it, the Holly family was all a bunch of kids that all went through Wayne High.
Yeah.
Back in like the 50s, and the father was a developer of some sort. But I would give that about a 50% accuracy rating.
The things get funny with memory over time, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, that wasn't my memory. That was his.
Yeah. Do you have trouble with trespassers? I made the mistake a couple summers ago walking through here and thinking I'm probably on private properties, whereas I probably should have come down this way.
To tell you the truth, no one's ever messed with anything.
Yeah, because I find bottles and stuff from people down here, like people partying.
Well, when it was more
I'm surprised there are no homeless camps, because I find homeless camps further on down along the river, down by the dispensary and that. Few homeless camps down there.
Well, there used to be a nice path that okay, here's another old Wayne guy.
I've heard about some kind of path and a crossing over here, not the swing down there by Vinoy, but something down here.
His name was Dave. So I moved into this house in 2000. And there was an old timer whose name was. Anyhow, there used to be a hardware store in Wayne, or another hardware store.
Not Northside, but
and
a
this
different
guy owned it. And apparently it was somewhere close, like maybe it was on Wayne Road too. I'm thinking Dave Anderson? No. Anyhow, he was an 80-year-old man when I moved in, and every day he would come with a lawn tractor and a shovel, and he would keep this path open. And you could go from here all the way to the river, where the homeless people like to hang out.
Yeah.
And then along the river all the way, so it was like a big maybe mile-long path that was nicely open. And then he passed away.
And did he mention anything about a crossover or a bridge?
No. I've never seen a bridge, even when you could walk it. But there is a path.
I'm going to try to carefully crawl down this slope. If I tumble, call the ambulance for me. I was shooting video when I started talking to you. I hope you don't mind. Oh, okay. So the trail would have come down that direction, and he maintained it for a number of years. You think that would have been like 40s, 50s?
No, I mean before Dave died and they stopped opening the trail. It was pretty wet.
So you think the trail would have been this watery area over here, marsh?
Yeah, I'm thinking we'd have pretty much been on the trail.
Yeah.
So it went straight this way, all the way to the bridge.
Okay.
But there's another trail. You know how when you're on Elm Street and it does that 90-degree turn?
Yeah.
Right here?
Yeah.
So you know where that guardrail's at?
Right, right.
So you can walk pretty easily from here to that guardrail, and that's where them deer like to run the same.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you still
dozen
see a lot of
you
deer
always
down
see
here, yeah.
Them deer like to make a run on that.
Yeah. You gotta put a salt lick up there. Do you ever feed them?
You can see right here, deer have been bedding down.
Yeah. I noticed tracks last time I was down here. But I'm not a hunter, so I don't know what to look for. Otherwise, you might notice.
When you pick them up like that, it's surprising, but you can usually see them waiting for you to leave. Like right.
Yeah.
This is too wet to show you right now, but there is a path that goes from like here straight, like parallel with Glenwood, all the way to that guardrail.
I think that's probably what I followed down, like in that direction, and then started seeing all the concrete and stuff.
Yeah, which is basically in that area right
Yeah.
there.
I'm gonna get as close as I can to the water over there, if you don't mind. I mean, this isn't your property, right? This is City of Wayne.
County floodplain.
Oh, okay. I don't want to be trespassing.
My property is pretty much from the power line.
Right? Is that a Three Stooges plaque yours?
Yeah.
That's hilarious, man. I was happy to find that. That kind of made my day. Yeah, it's starting to get a little wet. Trying to remember where that fire plug was. It's
The home plate was about in that area you're standing.
because I've seen aerial photos from the 50s. You could see the whole field. It looked like either home plate was on the other side or on this side. I can't remember. I'm thinking.
I think it's about where you're at.
Yeah. 'Cause, yeah, you can kind of see an opening, and what confuses me is that that tree is pretty big, so that must have been growing for a long time.
You know, that could only be because my mother had one in her backyard that was every bit as big as that, and it was planted in the 50s. So
yeah, that's plenty of time to grow a tree that big.
I mean, it wasn't necessarily there when this was a.
Yeah, I can see the bleachers, concrete in the distance there. Yeah, the fire hydrant must be over there. I don't think I wandered this far.
People are always really resistant to other people enjoying themselves by their houses.
Well, it depends on what they're doing to enjoy themselves, right?
The city could have kept that trail open, and it was a nice trail for walking on and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it went like this, but
well, they've opened up the trails from like 2nd Street to down to Dynamite Park. I think one of these times when it dries up, I'm going to wander a little further down the river and see what the heck is down there.
or even if you just go in from the guardrail on the other side, and you'd probably be able to walk to about right there.
Right. Oh, from the bridge?
The guardrail on, what do you want to call that? The little part of Elm Street there for Clark runs. Clark turns.
Oh, Clark. Oh, right. There's a little guardrail at the end of the street.
Yeah, if you walked in there, you could walk all the way to there.
I have to be a little cautious. I'm 61. I'm by myself. I always picture, I twist my ankle down here. They might find me too late.
Were you a Wayne High guy?
I graduated from Wayne in 81. And my dad and my mom graduated from Wayne as well. Mom, actually...
We'd have been at Wayne High at the same time, actually.
Oh,
I
yeah?
graduated 83.
My name's Gary Johnson. What is yours?
Frank Toarmina.
I remember your name.
My brother Lou was a year older than you. He graduated.
Are you
in
related
80.
to the pizza empire?
So you graduated with Rick Rogers.
Okay.
Is that right?
The name, you mean principal?
No. I mean, football player that went to Michigan from Wayne High.
Well, the name is familiar.
Rick Rogers.
Yeah, I was a nerdy science fiction art kid, so I didn't pay much attention to the sports.
It was a big deal in
my era, it was Joe Glass was a star wrestler. I think he went on to some fame. And then isn't there the acting guy who's
Joe
now?
Glass just passed away.
Oh no.
Yeah, he was a good buddy of my brother Lou's.
Right. The year before me was the guy who's on Blue Bloods now. Why can't I remember his name?
Jabara.
Jabara, yeah.
So there was a Jabara my age too.
Huh.
So one a year older than you and one that graduated in '83. Yeah, I got a feeling that this spot right here, because I can see some concrete right there. You see it?
Yeah, those I assumed those were bleachers.
Yeah.
And if those were bleachers, then you're right. The home plate would have been over here. If the bleacher, I'm assuming that if the bleachers were.
So there was a big home plate stone that was down here for years, and then it got moved. It was actually Charlie Proctor that took it to his house.
Oh.
He got it in his garden.
So you can pretend not to know who he is or where it's at.
Oh, he's fast away.
I can.
He doesn't care.
I could show you the aerial photograph. So this, I guess this would be Elizabeth here.
I can't see it.
Oh. So I'm thinking Glenwood, Elizabeth, or wait, Glenwood. That's confusing. Michigan Avenue is down here. So it would be like this. So then this is Elizabeth. So I guess home plate looks like it would have been over there.
So my house would be like here, is that what we're saying?
I'm thinking, yeah, right in there. And then, so the bleachers must have been along this side of the, whoops.
Just flipped for you. What do you think this area was then?
I'm very curious. That would be like over there.
Because there's still a clearing there that there's no trees and it's like a meadow.
Yeah, I wonder.
But like in this, can't really see, this must be the river. We're kind of seeing here like this, but like somewhere right about here is where there was kids jumping their bikes, and it was pretty
right.
It was pretty cool for a while.
I bet it's grown over by now. It's something like this. But yeah, probably when it gets drier.
Path I'm talking about went like right along that border of all this. It was like that big a path. It was pretty cool.
Huh. So all the way, probably like this to the river, and then all the way down through there. Huh.
So if you'd have came 20 years ago, you could have walked on that path.
Yeah, I think when it.
I'm getting that Dave guy's last name wrong.
Oh, you have an excuse. It's got to have been what, 30, 40 years?
You can't think of any other hardware stores that were in Wayne?
I only know of Northside, but I remember I've talk of a different hardware store for sure.
Maybe Young?
That sounds familiar.
So that house that I'm in at one time was well, that was Dr. Dreyer's house.
Oh, no way. That was my mom's doctor. I'm pretty sure. She's mentioned a Dr. Dreyer. I don't know if he delivered her.
That he delivered half the babies in Wayne
Yeah.
at one time.
I'm thinking he might have delivered my mother. Yeah.
Because there was, when I moved in, there was a functional alarm system that if you hit the fire alarm, it would signal at the firehouse. What do you think about that?
That's like direct response. That's a damn good fire alarm for sure.
So, I heard that the Dryers bought that house from a guy that was the Wayne city attorney.
Did you were you familiar with Judge Bradley?
Judge Bradley?
Our family is friends with Bradley. grandma worked at City Hall down in the building department, so whenever my uncle did any renovations in the house that I live in now, they just signed off on it. So there's all kinds of crazy shit. It's just like off-code stuff. I'm never going to be able to sell the place unless it'll be one of those I will buy your house dudes as is.
Oh, but I know my buddy Jerry's dad was a DPW director in Wayne, Mr. Law, Jim Law.
That name's familiar. Did he have kids?
What's that?
I went to school with some laws. Did he have kids that went to the school?
Oh, a lot, yeah. Well, he has 5 kids it would have been.
Okay, yeah.
So
Looks like they're doing some major work over there, taking down some dead wood.
see this right here? This could be a good clue for you. Look at this structure.
Yeah, I didn't notice that before. What the heck? Obviously it was built around a smaller tree.
What'd you guys drop over there?
The whole sod pops out. It's shaped like a square.
This is almost so like where I said where Elm Street would be.
Yeah.
When you look at that aerial picture, you might be able to see that. Is what I'm saying.
Huh.
Just for reference.
Yeah, I wonder if the fire plug would be more in reference to elm.
Say that again.
I wonder if that fire plug would be more in reference to elm than Sophia.
Yeah, well, in the corner.
Because it all goes underground. Oh, thank you. I think I just
Frank Paul. Son. You notice this concrete thing right here? What? Don't look at this piece of concrete right here. It's like there's like a home bunker there.
looks like it was, you know, like encased the base of a smaller tree at some point in history, but it got so big that it just
Busted its way out.
yeah.
Oh wow.
Show my son on that map where the baseball field was, because he'll get a kick out of it. That baseball field was pretty much at the end of the street, man.
Yeah, that the concrete part with the pole in it's supposed to be the flagpole.
No, it's not.
Never mind.
Well, that could have had a flagpole in it.
So let's see.
So there, can you kind of see the diamond shape right there?
Yeah.
So this would be our house, would be
So
like,
yeah, Elizabeth, and then your house is up here.
like there.
So yeah, the home
that-
plate must have been down there.
Hey, that's
bleachers.
facing this way though, like you'd be hitting toward. Did our map flip or something? Which way is Michigan Avenue
Okay.
now?
Michigan Avenue's here. So Glenwood's there.
You guys agree with me? This looks like these are the bases right here.
Yeah. That's hot.
Okay, yeah, in the outfield, yeah.
So it kind of looks like they'd be hitting toward the house.
Yeah. And then the bleachers that
Because
we're looking at.
This is Glenwood, right?
Yeah.
And that's Elizabeth.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet. Would this be the river?
The river would be going along
We saw
here.
it earlier.
This
It's
is
this dark area
yeah.
that cuts in like that.
yeah, if there's Michigan, if Michigan is that's so confusing.
Yeah.
That's Michigan. Then the river goes like this.
Yeah, I can kind of see like the dark band.
Right.
Where'd you get that photo from? What's that? Funny how different this will look as soon as the leaves come back. As soon as the stuff starts growing again.
I guess there are pay services online.